Thank you. Well, good morning. Buenos dias. Bonjour. Guten Tag. Buongiorno. Or as we'd say in Australia, g'day. It is such a pleasure to be here in Barcelona for our Convergence 2013 EMEA. It's been several years since we've had a major convergence event in EMEA, and I'm so pleased we brought it back because of your enthusiasm, your support, and your attendance. As of this morning, we are now over 2,700 people here from 69 countries, and we have a great variety of different IT and business functional roles represented. I want to thank the marquee customers. You're going to hear from several of them this morning, and the people who are participating in our Executive Experience Program. I want to give a special thanks to our sponsors and exhibitors. We certainly appreciate your support. Now, I know there's plenty of content over the next couple of days. So amongst the more than 140 sessions, you're bound to get some valuable information about products and some specific industry topics. And I hope that you take advantage of our Convergence Experience Center right outside. There you can talk to our product specialists and also check out the great solutions and services from our partners. Now, last night was a great event. You saw the roll. I want to thank everybody that was here. And one important fact, did you know that Fred Studer's bow tie now has a Twitter handle? And the sad part is, it's got more followers than Fred does. Now, the development teams have been very busy delivering on innovation. And this morning, we've made a number of announcements in the press, a number of elements to it. Now, we announced Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2013 R2 at the Directions Conference in Vienna, Austria in September. But this morning, we're announcing that we're closing in on 100,000 customers on NAV. So please, why don't we congratulate the NAV team for this? We're really getting close. Now, following up on the global premiere event, this morning we're announcing that Dynamics CRM 2013 is generally available online and on-premise. We're also announcing the availability of mobile apps for Windows Phone, iOS, and Android. We've added more industry templates. We now have 18 vertical industry templates that include process flows and dashboards and such. And we have a special offer that we're announcing this morning. So if you're an Office 365 customer, you can now purchase CRM 2013 online at a discount for up to 40% off. And I know you're going to want to take advantage of that. This morning, we're also announcing Dynamics AX 2012 R3. Finally, there's a great R3 product in the market. They got that. We're including new warehouse management, transportation management, and demand planning capabilities. We have mobile apps for expense tracking, for approvals and managing approvals, and for timesheet reporting. And we've revamped the Business Analyzer app. We're also announcing that AX 2012 R3 will be available for hosting on Azure's infrastructure as a service. So you can see we're making great strides in devices and services. And I'd like to, all of us, give a warm welcome to the hard work that our development teams have been given. Thank you. Now, we talked last night, and we're going to talk some more this morning about delivering amazing customers' experiences. This is where we're focused. We think this is very important in the era of the customer, but at the same time, we're also optimizing the effectiveness and the efficiency of those business processes in the back office and the front office that enable us to deliver those customer interactions. And to back that up, we've recently launched our advertising campaign that we call Make Happy. It's about making customers happy, making happy customers, because happy customers come back. They buy more, they're more valuable over time. They become our friends, our followers, our fans, and our advocates. Now, Make Happy applies whether you're dealing with customers, consumers, clients, or citizens. And to reinforce that point, we're in the beautiful city of Barcelona. It's known for its cultural and history, but it's also progressive in the way that it's addressing the approach to citizen care and services. And so, what I'd like to do to tell us a little bit more about that is to welcome on stage Manel Sanroma, the CIO of the city of Barcelona. Manel.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, firstly, I want to thank you. You're hosting us in your beautiful city. Also like to thank the city and the mayor for such a wonderful venue that we're in. It's just beautiful.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Now, I understand, you know, the city of Barcelona has performed very well given the economic recession that we've had. Would you like to tell us how you've been able to do that?
Well, it's not us, it's the city that has done it. You know, we are the capital of a small country, Catalonia, and the country as other...
You got that
Thank
one
you.
too.
Appreciate it. And the country, as other countries in Europe, is going through difficult times. But you know, the cities have energy. The cities have the energy to drive the countries. And I think Barcelona is showing that the cities are the real drivers of countries. The city is performing quite well. The city has much energy. You know the city. Well, the City Hall is only taking this energy and trying to collaborate with the society, so to make possible this development and this positiveness looking at the future.
That's excellent. And I've heard you talk about the business of cities as well. Can you describe that a little more? What do you mean by that?
Yes, again, we are, as a country, we are very small. We are not very important in the field of countries, but as a city, we are very competitive. And we look at, we have a very good brand, but we have another couple of brands that are very important, the FC Barcelona and Messi, you know. Thank you. And we look at them for inspiration, and we see that we compete very well. But we need to create the league. In soccer, we already have the league. And we compete with Real Madrid, we compete with Manchester, we compete with Chelsea, and we do quite well. So we have to create the league of cities. We have to share things. We have to collaborate. We have. Sometimes I say that we want to be the smartest city. We want to be the first in the classroom. But first, we have to create the classroom. We have to create the collaboration among cities, among companies, because we don't have the technology. You guys have the technology. The technology is created in research centers, so we have to make this collaboration between cities, industry, and research centers, so to drive all this business of cities ahead.
Now, that's brilliant. And you mentioned technology, so I know that you're delivering some innovative citizen services. Could you describe how you're using Dynamics to enable you to do that?
Of course, yes. To us, citizens are the center, as in any city that does business well. But you know, it's difficult to don't forget that citizens are not just clients or customers; they are citizens. So we know them well, but how we relate with them so that they feel that they get services and they don't feel spied or they don't feel too much interacted with the administration. So with Dynamics, we have, and with Microsoft, we have created a team that is experimenting on how we put the CRM in between the City Hall and the citizens. And it's not an easy business, because I was telling yesterday with friends of Microsoft that in this field, technophiles like myself are not the drivers, but we are in the rear guard, just telling people beware, because they are citizens, they are not just customers. Right. So it's an experiment, a technological experiment, but also sociological experiment, but we think we will succeed.
Yeah, and trust is such an important part of that. Now, we've got a lot of people here, Manuel, and some of them are probably first-time visitors to Barcelona. So maybe we can hear straight from you. What would your advice be? What are the things that people really should go and see while they're here?
Well, all of you that are here for the first time probably have guides and tourist guides, and there are many hotspots in the city, many places to see. But I recommend you to walk in the city. Barcelona is many cities in one city. I have a very good friend who says, from Chicago, who says that sometimes he feels in Barcelona like being in Florence, sometimes like being in Paris, sometimes like being in Chicago. So you are in many places at one time. So enjoy the city, walk in the city, feel that the city is a nice touristic place, but also the very same places you go is the very same places where people live, people like you, like me. So enjoy the city in its wholeness. Of course, go to the Sagrada Familia, go to the Park Güell, go to the seaside, but enjoy the city, walk in the city, feel what the people from Barcelona feel every day, because this is also your city.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Manuel. I appreciate it, and thank you for hosting us.
Thank you. Thank you.
So as you see from that, we're all on a journey, and we're part of it here. As we deliver Dynamics, we're taking advantage of and leveraging all of the great Microsoft services. We're also starting to take advantage more and more, as you'll see, of the great new devices that we're delivering and our partners are delivering into the marketplace. So to hear more about the strategy and where we're heading, what I'd like to do is to introduce the president of Microsoft International. Please join me in welcoming Jan-Filippe Kurt. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, bon dia, buenos dias, and many other languages. Thanks a lot, first of all, thanks a lot to all of you, 2,800 of you, customers, partners, coming all the way from 68, 69 countries, all across Europe, Middle East and Africa, even some countries in Asia, I was told, welcome here, and people from the Americas as well. It's a big deal for us to see you spending time. We do appreciate not only your commitment, your support, but your candid feedback as well. And personally, I really look forward to this day. I'm going to meet with a number of you today to have deep exchange on what we need, what you need, and what you expect from Microsoft to step up in your business. What I'd like to do today is really talking about three things. I'd like to share with you the excitement we have as a company and the momentum we are building in the enterprise business. Number two, I'd like to reflect on where we are as a company, what kind of strategy we have been defining and we're embarking on as a company for the years to come. And number three, I want also to position Dynamics in the context of that all-up strategy of Microsoft. So I hope by the end of this presentation, you have a better sense of that before getting into more details of the Dynamics strategy. Let me start with some of the conversations we are having with customers. I have the privilege in my capacity of President of Microsoft International to travel the world. I typically visit 40, 45 countries a year, all across the world. And those are the key themes, what I'm calling the drivers of change I'm hearing, both from business decision makers, executives, CIOs, heads of states, as I travel. The first one is, well, there's been a challenging economic situation across Europe in particular last few years, but I can feel more confidence growing as we go to 2014. I'm not an economist, so sometimes I have to read data like you, and if you believe in predictions of IMF, you'll see that the EU zone, for the first time in 2014, is supposed to be back to growth. 1 point. It's not a lot, but when you've been shrinking as an economy for 2 years in a row, I see that as a positive note. It goes beyond if you go to Eastern Europe, growing by probably 2.7% next year. Middle East, 3.7%. And Africa, which is an amazing story in terms of growth, growing by 6%. Actually, if you look at the 10 fastest growing economies in the world, 7 of them are in Africa. And I think that's an important story for many of your businesses who are also expanding or actually are building capabilities in Africa. You know, with all of that, there are some challenges. Certainly, I've seen many governments being challenged in addressing what I'm calling the trust factor. The trust has been challenged with the financial systems. If you think about it back 5-6 years ago with the financial crisis, there's been a big question about financial system and the foundation. Now, we see also certainly big questions and big demands, legitimate questions, about trust with technology. As people embrace technologies in their daily lives, mobile, cloud, and many other technologies, clearly we have as an industry, we Microsoft take that very seriously, we have to step up. And as a company, we have decided to really raise the game in a few different areas. One, we are working very deeply, one country at a time, to make sure we define the way we can respond to the unique data requirements by country. As an example, as you implement our cloud services like Office 365, we have actually agreed on some privacy requirements by country which are in full respect with the EU model clause. Number two, we have decided to have a very transparent set of principles. When you go and check our trust center, you can see everything we do to document, to trace, to audit, the ability you can use our services again across your business in the world, in Europe, in Asia, in the US, everywhere in the world. And number three, we are making a strong commitment as a company to basically not mixing consumer data with enterprise data to commercial that data for another business. We don't do that. We are working clearly to establish a trust relationship with businesses. And the last point, and I'll come back to that, when it comes to our cloud strategy, we are the only company providing the choice for you, our partners and others, to build a solution on-premise or through a local service provider or using Microsoft Public Cloud or combining all of those capabilities together. That's your choice. And it helps you to respond to those unique security, privacy requirements. You know, there's a big deal of transformations happening in the world. Every time meeting with CEOs of companies, they talk about their own transformation, reinventing manufacturing processes, redefining innovation, redefining the new customer experience in the store, in the shop, online. Microsoft itself, we are going through a huge transformation. More to come in a few minutes on that story. But the same phenomenon happens at the country level. Yesterday night, I was actually privileged to have a conversation with many of our customers, including the city of Barcelona, of course, and Governor of Catalonia I was meeting with a few weeks ago. And I can tell you, this government is reinventing its way, reinventing the way they want to serve their citizens and businesses. And it applies to many places I go. There's a big rebalancing of the economies. And I know that many of you in this room have actually businesses in many parts of the world. There's a very interesting data point from McKinsey. Today, you've got 8,000 companies in the world making more than $1 billion of revenue. In the next 10 years, there will be a new 7,000 companies in that club of doing more than $1 billion of revenue, and 70% of those companies will be coming from emerging markets in the world. So nobody's confused that there's a big reshaping, rebalancing of decision-making centers, north, south, west, east, and it's happening at a very fast speed. And last certainly, but last one, but certainly not the least important one, social and cloud are redefining productivity. There was also very interesting, actually, research done by McKinsey showing that in 4 industries, consumer financial services, advanced manufacturing, but also consumer packaged goods and professional services, the usage of social technologies at work in the business can unleash a potential of $1 trillion, that's a lot of zeros, of productivity gains per year. It's huge. It's a big deal in terms of the way all the businesses can actually increase productivity. What does it mean, all those big themes and drivers of change? It means that we as an industry and we, Microsoft, are investing against the 4 big drivers of technology innovation. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because you know them all. Those are big buzzwords in our industry, cloud, obviously, and moving businesses from CapEx to OpEx with a flexible, variable service by employee or customer. Mobility, this year there will be about 7 billion devices sold in the world. By 2020, there will be 50 billion connected devices, from smartphones to tablets to PCs and others, which is basically, about 7 times more devices than we have people on the planet. So it opens the door to very interesting scenarios. Social, I just talked about that, and big data. 2/3 of enterprise companies in the world, according to Gartner, are already using, to some extent, the potential of big data to translate information into insights and into action. We as a company are investing $10.4 billion of R&D investment in a year to align our investment against all those big trends. And so the question, of course, is what does it mean in terms of outcomes? Well, it means that we had the biggest innovation year last 12 months, and we're going to have the biggest innovation year this year as a company that we ever had. And I can relate to that. I've been privileged to work for this company for almost 30 years. So I've seen many innovations coming, from many years. This is the most amazing year for the company. If you look left to right, and this is just a small subset, we are launching in the marketplace amazing innovation for consumer, Skype, which I'm sure many of you are using, which is, again, fueling the communication of more than 1/3 of people on the planet. We are also launching devices, yes, and I'll come back to that. We are becoming a devices company. We just announced a week ago Surface V2, the second version of our Surface, Windows 8.1, tablet, PC, laptop, 2-in-1 device, Windows Phone. And yesterday night, of course, in the core of the enterprise business, Microsoft CRM 2013. This is a big deal. This is a huge innovation year. And the key thing is, what is actually the context of that innovation? So what I'd like to do the next couple of minutes is really walk you through the strategic purpose of our company. What is our intent as a company? In essence, we want to create a family of devices integrated with services for individuals, for businesses that empower the people at work, at home, on the go, to actually do the activities they value the most. And this is a big deal. And if you think about that statement, there are really 3 big principles or 3 big directions in that strategy. One, it's about creating that integrated experience, end-to-end, integrated solution in your business of services, cloud, either private cloud or public cloud, on great devices that your people, whatever is their job, can use in their day-to-day work. 2, it's about actually doing that both for consumers and businesses. And this is a big deal because all of your employees are consumers, yourself too, and your customers are consumers too, and you have the needs of an enterprise. And certainly 3, we want to deliver a superior value with high-value activities. What am I talking about those high-value activities? Well, I'm talking about leveraging, combining some incredible capabilities we built on the right side of this slide. Operating system foundation, which has been completely rebuilt with Windows 8. Hardware, building both tablets, phones, high-quality devices, cloud services capabilities, natural user interface, machine learning, and many more. And we combine those capabilities to, again, deliver high-value activities, such as decision-making, being smarter in making decisions at business, such as development, such as expression. Let me take a concrete example today, which is not 10 years away from now. I was in Asia just 2 weeks ago. I was meeting with the CEO of the largest bank in Thailand, and the CEO was really telling me about his key priorities as a business. And the way he was asking us, Microsoft and the technology partners, to help him reinvent the branch of the future in Thailand. And I asked him, what do you mean by that? Because I know many bankers, financial services organizations have similar projects in mind. He said, well, in essence, I want to make sure as there are more people who can actually afford to buy more financial services, I want to make sure I can actually connect them wherever they are in Thailand, in other countries, to the best experts in my headquarters bank. So, as an example, I want that person in that city to be able, on the tablet or coming to the new revamped actually branch, to use the technology, in our case that's called Microsoft Skype as a consumer cloud services connected all the way into a federated link service, which is a secure, obviously, communication service run into the bank, where that consumer, the customer, can access, let's say, the specialist for real estate or the specialist for currencies hedging, RMBs versus dollars, which is a big deal right now in many parts of the world. And so that scenario is feasible. We are combining cloud services for consumers, the customers of the bank, with their own capabilities using enterprise cloud services and deploying that on a variety of devices when the customer wants to see the bank or when the customers want to get in touch with the bank. There are many more amazing scenarios we are working on at the core of your business, and I'm sure that during the day you're going to have many illustrations of that with Kirill and others on the way we want to deliver those high-value activities for consumers and enterprise through a family of devices and services. So that's really what our core strategy is all about. What does it mean when it comes to dynamics? Well, when you think about dynamic strategy, it's really at the core of that promise. It's about enabling high-value activities for business people at work and on the go to help them, obviously, doing the best job they can in their professional lives and help every business to become a dynamic business. And as you know, we have a strong vision with our dynamic strategy that customers and people are the center of what we do, of the solutions you build for your own people and you build as a partners for the customers. And to do that, not only we want to address the core scenarios of customer care, sales force automation, marketing analysis, but we want to really, really unleash the value of the whole Microsoft platform, BI, big data, using the opportunity of the Office 365 BI engine we've built to provide to all of your frontline people some amazing insights which are residing in your company somewhere, but showing that in action to your people every single day. It's also about connecting your people, as with the example I gave of the bank, using Office 365, using Link, using Yammer to actually have innovation at the edge of the enterprise, working with your supply chain, with your partners, and with your customers. So clearly, Dynamics is at the core of that strategy, and we want to provide that end-to-end solution building on that platform we are creating for devices and services. And we're having a big momentum. If you look at devices and services, there's a lot going on. And I will not give justice in 2 minutes, but we'll give it a try. If you look at the devices, well, 1 year ago, basically, we decided to reinvent Windows. This is a big deal. You may have been using Windows yourself for a number of years. And in essence, we've redefined Windows from the chipset all the way to the user interface. And for the last 2 weeks, we've been even updating Windows 8 with Windows 8.1, which is available through the cloud to any consumer. It will be shipping more than 100 million licenses of Windows 8 in the first 6 months of the launch. This is the last data point public. We made public back in May, so it's a bit outdated, but it gives you some sense of the momentum. We are also, as I said, contributing to a vast ecosystem of OEM devices. We are working hand in hand with our OEM partners. And you can see, I think, with the booth, some amazing devices from our partners. And you can also see Microsoft contribution with Surface 2, which is an amazing experience for people who want actually to be productive with one device That can be a tablet that you can use the whole day. That can be a laptop with a great keyboard experience. And that can be actually also a workstation when they go back to the office and plug it in the docking station. We are also, if you are not, I mean, by now you shouldn't be confused anymore if you're a devices company. We made clear that we wanted also to get deep into the phone business. And hence the announcement we made of the acquisition of Nokia. And we relaunched Windows Phone a couple of years ago. We are the challenger. We are not confused about that, but we love being a challenger because you come from nowhere to a strong position month after month. And the Windows Phone momentum is building. We are growing 6 times the market. We actually, I was reading on the plane yesterday night a very interesting headline from Kantar in Europe that is saying that Windows Phone now is above 10% in some of the biggest European markets, when we were 2 or 3% 1 year ago. Yes, there are some biggest mobile businesses ahead of us, but we are coming strongly, and we build the same platform, the same UI on your Windows Phone that the UI you use on your tablet again and in your PC. So it's a big deal. And the same phenomenon is happening with cloud. And cloud is not a new thing for Microsoft. You know that. Because when it comes to consumer cloud services, we've been learning for decades how to manage 1 billion live identities in the world. MSN, Hotmail, Outlook.com, Skype. It's a big, big, big capability we build with our consumer cloud services. A few years ago, we decided to retool the overall enterprise software platform into an enterprise cloud services platform. And you know what? Office 365, which is our suite of collaboration, productivity services, is actually our fastest growth product ever in the company's history. We've come from 0 to $1.5 billion of revenue in a record time. And it keeps growing in an amazing manner across businesses, across functions, including deskless workers at retail, manufacturing floors, people on the go with their phones. It's a big strength. And the strength continues Windows Azure platform, which is used increasingly, not just only as a platform as a service, but as a core infrastructure as a service. So we are having a big momentum with devices and cloud, and we are building that as well with our Dynamics offering. And the same momentum, and more will be said today, obviously, on Dynamics momentum. You know, when you think about it, in a few years, we built an ecosystem where we have more than 5 million users of Dynamics products in the world, 350,000 customers. A lot of that in the CRM space, 3.5 million users, and a big momentum for the last few months, clearly happening in the cloud as well. Indeed, 2 out of our 3 customers buying Microsoft CRM are buying it online now, or they're combining online with on-premise as well. So this is a really high growth area for Microsoft. And when you check our growth numbers, our first quarter result as a company, we made it clear that the company is actually achieving and performing super well in the enterprise business, and Dynamics is a big part of that. It's a big momentum which is resonating everywhere in the world. Now, let me try to bring all of that together, telling you a few stories of what I'm calling the CEO agenda. I have the pleasure to meet with many CIOs, but also many CEOs in the world. And I'm going to take a few customer stories just to tell you about the big things I'm hearing all over all the time. What do CEOs want to achieve? Well, number one, they want to drive the top line. They want to grow. They want to grow revenue. They want to acquire new customers. That's a big one. Number two, any customer I meet with wants to do more with less, shaving costs, being more efficient, and doing a better job in terms of the cost structure of the company. Number three, unleashing the potential productivity of their people, internally and externally, because all the companies have extended partners ecosystem as well. Number four, many CEOs I met with who are actually taking on some of our cloud assets want to transform the culture of their company. They do want to transform the culture of the company because they need to attract new talents to compete with some of the new competitors coming to their market. And five, which is a big deal, you know, I'm sitting on the board of a public company and I'm sitting in the audit committee, so I know what it's all about. Compliance. How do you actually take care of your security compliance requirements as a company with many forms of risk you have to tackle across the world? Revenue, just very briefly, great example is Copenhagen Airport. I mean, this is an organization like many airports. They see millions, in this case 22 million people coming through the airport, but they don't know the customers. So they decided, in essence, to build a loyalty program using SharePoint as a customer-facing web property and using CRM. And in a couple of months, they actually acquired 50,000 new customers. They increased the revenue, such as the parking lots, such as buying stuff online or booking online, the tax-free zone as they enter the space and the gift is ready and they can actually pay for that, and be increasing their revenue by 45%. Reducing costs, Dell, great example. Dell had to adapt its manufacturing processes a big time a few years ago. As you know, Dell is very strong, has been building this configure-to-order capability, many of their plants. The downside of that is when you have a terrible competition, a tough competition coming from retail and other OEMs, building more standardized product, you need to shift to your production lines. So what Dell did, they've been implementing Microsoft AX basically across the 8 manufacturing plants, and they've been achieving a saving of $95 million of savings with a direct contribution of Dynamics AX of $50 million of saving. It's a big deal, not just in terms of responding to the market, but saving money. Telefonica. Telefonica is this big global company that, you know, providing communication services. This is a huge company, and a few months ago at the top level, the top executives have decided to really increase the productivity of their people. They've got 150,000 people around the world. They have decided to equip all of them with Windows Phone, Windows tablets, using Windows 8.1, and using those devices with services, Office 365 and Yammer, so that they all speak the same language, they all collaborate very effectively, they all have access to best practices being built in Europe or Latin America or elsewhere in the world in a very, very fast way. Talent and culture, that's an example I love. I was down in Sydney in Australia 3 weeks ago, I guess it was, and I was meeting with the senior executive of Westfield. Westfield is this company building those luxury malls, big malls, where you got all the big brands, and I know we have many of those brands in the room, in Australia, in the US, in Europe. They've got a big one in the UK, which was built for Olympic Games. And what this company has done, they've been using Yammer as, actually those are the words of the CIO, as a social glue for enterprise innovation. What is it they do? They actually just have a few thousand employees, but their business model is about enabling their tenants, all of those big brands in the shops, to have the best end-to-end experience for the shopper coming to the mall. So that when the shopper comes to the mall, they know exactly what is expected from the brands. They know exactly the way they can handle that. And they've done a great job basically cutting down months of process iteration to basically a few days using Yammer, with an innovation coming all from the tenants and from the employees collaborating together. It's an amazing example of the way you can extend collaboration with your own customers' ecosystem. Last one, compliance security. I'm going to use, of course, a name which probably resonates well when you are in the security world, Interpol. I'm sure you know what it is. Actually, I understand what Interpol does because recently, it's a short story, I lost my passport in the US, and I can tell you I had a lot of pain with that. I did everything I had to do. I registered the lost passport in the US with the French consulate and everything else. Yet, whenever I was actually showing up, and I do that every day in my life, to the next customs, I was gently asked by someone, what about this passport you lost, Mr. Courtois? You know what? It was coming from the Interpol system. The Interpol system basically had a very ineffective system, and now they are using basically the CRM system and workflow to automate all the lost passports and many other issues, by the way. This is a gentle issue. You've got some pretty nasty issues Interpol is working after. And they're actually dealing with more than 40,000 cases, automating that with CRM. And all of that, as you can imagine, in full compliance with their security requirements, because Interpol cannot clearly have it wrong. It's got to be run properly. So, bring it all together. I think it gives you hopefully a sense of the kind of end-to-end solution services we are very eager to build with you, our customers, and with you as partners. building on some amazing innovation coming through devices and services all together. And I think the uniqueness of our strategy is to combine that with our Dynamics line of products, with our core capabilities, and really deliver that value to you, combining the knowledge we have of the consumer world with the deep commitment we have in the enterprise world. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to leave you with a short video to basically welcome on stage in 1 minute the head of our business, of Microsoft Business Solutions, Kirill Tatarinov, who will be delighted to walk you through many more examples, great customer examples, of the way we're going to deliver that value. So thanks a lot, enjoy Convergence, and please share your feedback all the time, and thanks again for the value that you, and the care you have for Microsoft, and the care you have spending time with Microsoft today. Thank you.
Start with the best products for productivity. Add a healthy dose of collaboration. Connect instantly with your teams wherever they are. And work together on the most popular social network for enterprise. When you add Microsoft Dynamics to your business, you can do all that and more. We help you bring people and technology together so you can improve the way you communicate with your customers, connect seamlessly with your team members, and empower your employees with relevant, actionable information. All with one simple goal: to make your customers happy. Microsoft Dynamics. Built for any device, anywhere. Built for you.